Rock and roll.
I guess we hyped every time now.
Even though it's not a Cobra Kai theme tune, it's just some random 80s style theme tune that I ripped off at a library site.
My music, bro. My music, man.
So we're back again for the next installment of the Cobra Kai Season 5 episode reviews. That's what we're calling them. That's what it is. That's what it is. And so far you've seen 1 and 2. It was a bit all over the place, so we're going to keep it a bit more ordered this time. So apologies for our scattergun technique last time. However, it was purely out of excitement. We just rambled like a couple of old ladies.
Old dears.
Old dears. And yeah, going old school. Look, people will say it's not really PC kids. Why couldn't it just be old men? And trust me, old men do natter and Twitter, but not better than old ladies. So it's always got to be reverted to old ladies. Obviously, we've got Garth in the room. How you doing, Garth?
Hyped. Get to talk about Cobra Kai again, mate. It's hyped.
and look, starting to build a little bit of a following. I say a following. Can it be counted? Right now, it's more of a gathering. You could say it's a gathering on the socials. Are we a gathering? It feels we call it a gathering. It's a gathering.
A few more, we can start calling ourselves influencers, bruv. Definitely.
Oh, yeah?
Once we get double figures.
Yeah, we're going to start calling ourselves influencers, mate. And then we're going to take over the world. All right. So in episode 3, look, I'm not going to lie yet. It was a bit bourbon biscuit dry. Not even bourbon biscuit. We're talking digestive biscuit.
Yeah, I was going to say bourbon, mate. That's got a bit of
flavour.
Bourbon
biscuit's got cream in the middle. It's got chocolate cream in the middle.
Yeah.
Right,
I take it rich tea. Rich tea, digestive, tea. Mate. Yeah, mate. All day.
Jacob Crackers dry. It was. I can't lie, bruv. It was purely out of the love for Cobra Kai. Yeah, that I wasn't complaining. Yeah, because there's a lot of soppiness in there, and I'm not a soppy kind of guy. All right, I ain't that guy. Yeah, no. But some things just needed to be done, and I can see some things were going to be done. So it is what it is.
This is what I was saying about the contrived storytelling. There's a lot of coincidences and people being stupid when they shouldn't be stupid. You know what I mean? To keep the story moving. I completely understand. You know, but this episode 3 for me, definite filler episode. Apart from a couple of bits that obviously we're going to get into now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously we just do a little run through. Miguel comes back from his disappointing trip from meeting his dad, who he never admitted to his dad that it was his son. He then meets up with Sam and they break up. For like the 4th time.
Can I just ask you a quick question there? If you just spent 200 quid on some jewelry, would you just leave it on the ground?
Never.
Let's go back with a receipt, mate.
No. Let's get the breakdown. Yeah, let's get the real breakdown. Yeah, it was in his pocket. Yeah, he took it out of his pocket. Yeah, opened it up, put it in his hand, looked at it, and then dropped it to the ground like blue. There's so many opportunities along the way to change your mind there to think, no. This girl, put it back in your pockets, $200, go somewhere else, go and meet another girl and be like, well, I saw this octopus over there and I thought it looked good around your neck. Maybe, try something, but do not, mate, throw it away.
No, take it back, mate, get your money back.
Remember what happened last time? You dropped the necklace, who picked it up? Robbie picked it up. Yeah. We don't want that happening again.
No. Listen, the show's got to have it, man. Like I said to you off stream, it's not so much about the adults so much anymore. The teen drama is taking over a little bit, and I understand why. You know what I mean? Everyone's got to get their story. Like we say, Miguel, like his story arc's pretty much done, so that they've got to bring drama into it somehow. You know what I mean? They've got to keep his story fresh and interesting somehow.
I think you're right. It does. Miguel's story's done. The story of the bullied boy turns into a hard nut, like he's already
Yeah.
been champion.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? He's already got the
Exactly.
girl. His heart's
Yeah.
been broken. He's going to get the girl back again. Like, where there's no, you're right, his story's done, which is why they're moving away from him, which is why I may find him a little bit wishy-washy. However, they don't need to make him so much of a drip. Like, that's the only way I could put it. Because I like Miguel. I like him. I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm just not as far as angry. I'm a little bit upset because this guy was someone I hung my hat off on season 1. I put a lot of time into this guy. I was like, nope, this guy's going to be the guy. He's going to be the Daniel LaRusso, and now he's just a bit of a wet blanket.
Well, no, but that's it. That's what I mean. He was the Daniel LaRusso. If you think about it, his arc was Daniel, like the same as Karate Kid's arc. He was the Karate Kid of Cobra Kai, and now we're in season 5, bruv. Like they got to move it on. So I understand that. But yeah, once that's all done, we get into the meat of episode 3. I think the best bit of the season so far as well for me, the Mike Barnes situations.
Yeah, but
we've
got more than that before that. We've not even got to the Mike Barnes bit. You've not even mentioned. Look, I'm taking control. This is the reason why. Yeah, we was hopping around like a bunny, mate. The last.
I apologise. I apologise.
First of all, this is major. It may not be big in the world of Garth Lewis, yeah. But Johnny gets told he could become a dad.
Yeah, I thought that was at the end. I apologise.
No, that's like the second bit. That's the second bit. So after Miguel comes back, Johnny comes round, chats with Carmen, and then she reveals she's pregnant. Yeah, they then go to the chemist, and that's when they have a little tiff because Johnny's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not ready for this." Remember?
Still, exactly the same, brother. Again, that script writing where it's like they've got to bring drama into it.
Yeah, I don't mind. They don't move Johnny away from that because some of his one-liners are brilliant. They're epic, and he's such a lovable dope that like you can't change it. You can't change it. You can't change it. Obviously, then next, Mike Barnes. The
bad boy of karate.
The bad boy. Mike Barnes. Yeah. So, but once again, Daniel LaRusso jumping the gun, thinking that Mike Barnes is some international gangster cutting off people's legs or whatnot.
That's so silly, that bit.
It was just like, I just, are you trying to make LaRusso look bad? Because if you are, you're succeeding. Because he's coming across as like, I don't know. I think of a word he's coming across, Garth. Like, he's coming across as very impulsive and dumb. Because no one, like, impulsive. Like it's one of them things like you pull up outside a shop or at a workshop as it is, and he's picking out a skill saw out the back of his van. You know what I mean? He even chose said it's for cutting pipes. I think he says there at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, they're going to get to Terry Silver's friends before Terry Silver does, and he walks in, he hears him on the phone, clearly talking about an order for some woodwork, like clearly, no two ways about it. And this is going to chop his legs off. Like, bro, when did this show turn into an 18, mate? Like, you're going to be chopping Redder's legs off, mate. Like, kids' legs off as well. Like, I know Mark Barnes was a bit of a... It was kids learning. And then he was like, no, I'm not having it. It's like, what?
Rips the phone out of his hand, starts screwing at whoever's at the other end of the line, you know what I mean? Like,
like that's going to help things.
Yeah.
Like, that would help things in real life.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to be funny, but it wasn't. It wasn't funny at all. It was just really cringe, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was. It was.
What was funny was when Chosen turns up. That's when they should have just left all that and had that bit. You know what I mean?
Yes. How good was that? Because Chosen comes in, thinks that the Russo's getting beaten up, and starts kicking Mike Barnes' ass, but doesn't stop. That's the funniest bit. It doesn't stop. And I thought it was going to flip round into them just having a proper row again. Everyone having a row. And I'm like, yeah, come on. Deep down thinking, now sort this out because I want Mike Barnes to be on their side. I want them to be just some almighty tear up in the end. Do you know what I mean? Chosen once again, kicking everyone's ass. How good of a character is Chosen?
Like you said, comic genius as well, mate. Some of the lines he's got, because obviously once Daniel LaRusso stops him from fighting, and Chosen comes out with the lines, "There's not a fight. someone better call an ambulance then.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
pans
yeah,
to
yeah.
outside. There's
Right
five
on the
dudes.
floor. Yeah, quality viewing. That was
Yeah, then
quality, man.
he's great. He's the best character in it without a shadow of doubt. And then obviously, I think that's the end, isn't it? They get Terry Silver's old attorney's number, and that's the end of episode 3. That's what I mean about episode 3. Like pretty dry, apart from that last bit.
Yeah, it did just fly by as well. It did just fly by.
But again, like hardcore. I mean, we don't know it's Terry Silver yet that burnt down his furniture store, but obviously it is. You know, I mean, who else is going to burn down Mike Barnes' furniture store after he finds out that that the attorney's been contacted? And that's quite like I give it to that whoever Mike Barnes character is again, the person who plays him, because I've not seen him anything else. There's a good bit of acting there. Like you could see pure like pain and anger on his face.
Like
you know what I mean?
he clearly still acts. Like he was clearly still acting afterwards. Mike Barnes clearly got work after this. Like it done for actors who because even like LaRusso, definitely Johnny Lawrence, they may have got some work straight after, and then they may have got some work years after because there's maybe some cameo roles or they're being called into sitcoms where there's like, oh look, it's Daniel LaRusso, the Karate Kid, you know, them ones. But these guys have not been working solidly for the last 30 years. And you got to give props to them. They've done some really, really good jobs. Really, really good jobs. I've been so impressed. So impressed.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I'm just having a look at it now. Sean Kanan, his name is, Mike Barnes. And yeah, to be fair, of all the ones I've looked at, he's had pretty steady work on, I'm guessing, American sitcoms. American soaps, just looking through it.
Also, I've seen that he does a lot of, he done a lot of, like, US Marshals and stuff like that, like being a army guy, Army Guy 10 with 4 lines. You absolutely know.
But listen, not a bad episode. I watch Cobra Kai as the series, and taking in the series, you forget how boring the episode 3 is, especially with the end being like
because
that,
if you was to ask me to recap every single episode along the way from season 1 to season 4, I guarantee there was a lot of filler in there as well.
Yeah. 100%. All these shows are, man, especially the Netflix shows, because they've got to get, basically, you have to have 10 episodes or 8 episodes minimum, don't you? So you've got to fill it somehow. I still enjoyed it immensely, though, bruv. So,
I've got written down opening scene episode 4 is basically like a reenactment of Top Gun. It's like a Top Gun trailer, and I've put and it's quality.
When it first happened, I was like, "Oh, he's going full." I didn't realize it was a dream sequence to begin with. I was like, "He's going full Top Gun." I like, because that'd be so Johnny Lawrence as well. Like thinking that's the coolest thing known to man, coming out full Top Gun. You know what I'm saying? And it is literally like straight, just ripping off basically the entire story of Top Gun, just condensed down, even to the Kenny Loggins song in there. So awesome. Obviously, I was hyped for that, bruv. I was absolutely hyped because I love me some Top Gun. So yeah, great little scene. I thought it was his dream though. That was the little twist that I really enjoyed when Carmen wakes up and it's her dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's well funny. Yeah, you didn't expect that at all. Great opening scene. Once again, they're playing fan service with this 1980s cheese ball theme, throwing any 80s references, old school flashbacks as well, and that. They showed that in episode 3 with Mike Barnes for the old school flashbacks as well. So again, loving it. Next one was where the Russos went to the function where Amanda was trying to basically get in a new job somewhere and was trying to smooth the charity event. And lo and behold, it was being held at Terry Silver's house, which they didn't know. And I might know. Terry Silver is a snake. He appears out of nowhere all of the time, and I love it. I love that he's a snake. I love that he appears out of nowhere because I wasn't expecting that. It's like, oh, actually, but as soon as she said, oh, actually, this was donated to us by one of the people on the board, I was like, Silver's coming out. Who is it? Terry Silver. Once again. You knew he was going to get under the skin of LaRusso.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, it didn't take too long. A couple of words saying that he said something like, is it like that? The thing is, yeah, once again, Daniel LaRusso, impulsive. He knows the situation. He knows that Terry Silver's trying to get under his skin. Why did he not just think for a second, you're going to make yourself look bad if you're bad-mouthing my wife to this potential person? Like, he just step away for a second. But he didn't.
Again, it kind of, like I say, like some of the script writing, as much as I love this show, I have to keep saying it, some of the script writing is a little bit lazy just to keep the story moving. And this was what that was, obviously, because we had to have a reason for Amanda to get really upset and leave and go and see her sister, so that she gets the full story from her sister about what happened with Terry Silver and LaRusso. And
also, what also had to happen there was Sam had to realise that she still had a love for karate by joining in that fight.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So, like we were just saying, Daniel LaRusso, mate, he's gone through the valley, ain't he? I'm thinking about it. 2 sisters, the Johnny Lawrence's girlfriend. He's gone through the valley, mate. It's a fair play to him, mate. Player.
Yeah. Also, yes, one thing I did write down was about Dimitri. I got a lot of time for Dimitri. And,
you really have, ain't you?
Being a geek, yeah. And because you know what, he's just a whiny geek, but he's so I don't know what it is about him. He's so unaware of his surroundings. He's so happy with being a geek, yeah. He doesn't care, and I love that, yeah. And he's so unaware of his surroundings because he's so comfortable being a geek that he just drops quality one-liners and he just says quality stuff, which is to his demise at the most of the time. But yeah, I love it. But when he goes around to Johnny's to try and get him a phone, and he pulls out that dusty broken iPhone out of his pocket, and then Johnny says, "Thanks for being a dork." It's just Johnny's awkwardness just reverts back to him being a jock and just says them again. It's weird how you've got a geek who's probably you'd expect to be more nervous in a situation than a jock who's actually nervous in a situation, and the only thing that the jock can come out with is "thanks for being a dolt," but he's just being genuine. Like he doesn't know what to say. He just means "thanks for being smart and helping me out here," but that's the only way he can express it.
It comes from a place of love.
It comes from a place of love. It comes from the heart. Like, you gotta love that. You gotta love that.
And obviously that's because now that Johnny knows he's going to be a father, he's got to sort his life out. So he's looking to get a job. He's told that he can do Uber, basically, whatever they call it on this, but Uber Eats and Uber delivery, Uber driving, basically. And that leads to one of the best montages in the entire season, I think.
Yes, where he becomes an Uber driver. Oh, he's pissing in a can. Oh my God. Like telling people to fuck off and all that shit. Like, it's just terrible. 1 star, cold burger. Yeah, I've eaten a cold burger. Of course you can. Yeah. Like, of course you can, Johnny. You live like a bum for most of your life. But it's like
eating people's food as well.
Eating people's food. What the hell? Drinking beer. Like, nah, mate. This is not good. This is not a job for you. Yeah, brilliant montage. Brilliant. Another quality bit of footage from the Cobra Kai team there. After that, it gets to the water park beef. Was it the water park beef at that point there?
Yeah, we're at the water park beef. Yeah.
Water park beef starts off with a bit of awkwardness between Miguel and Sam.
More teenage drama.
They see then the opposites, the Cobra Kai and the formerly known as Miyagi-Do are on the opposite sides of the pool. And then Sam's little brother, I think, was the first point of issue. Yeah.
Well, obviously he was bullying
Kenny.
I can't think it was Kenny. Kenny was bullying Kenny.
I was annoyed at in the first place because Sam's brothers, he's a pussy. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. He's a pussy. Yeah.
But to be fair, Kenny's like, they done a really good job on that because Kenny is tiny. He looks tiny when he's getting bullied, and then out of nowhere, he's got a bit wham.
He's got a bit wham, isn't he?
Yeah, mate. 100%, bro. Yeah, mate.
No, I think in general, Kenny has got a bit wham.
Right,
because that must have been. because Kenny was skinny before, bro.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
But now his shoulders are bigger. Definitely shoulders are bigger. No, Kenny. Shout out to Kenny getting a bit wham there. Ratings for that, mate. Ratings for that.
Yeah. So him and Kyler, the bully all the way through, kick Anthony into the pole, and Hawk in it. Hawk's the one who sees it and steps up immediately.
Hawk,
as per usual.
aka
Hawk's,
Eli.
Yeah, Eli's ready for a row at any point. At any... Just ready for a row.
Honestly, the stupidest. That is the stupidest sort of hype warm up. It's not intimidating at all. It looks like a weird sort of sex warm up. Like it's not the way forward. But we love Eli. We love Hawk. He's a G. And he's always up for a row, which I'm not an advocate of kids out there. Like, but don't always be up for a row. But just be ready for one. Like, just be prepared for one, because just in case. All right, just be ready up there. All right. Little message to all the little dweebs out there.
which he was. Look what happened. He was a little dweeb, but now he's not. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another one. When Johnny said when it was talking about love advice, and John and I think Miguel said he spoke to Dimitri, and he said well, Hawk's a stud, but Dimitri, and he goes, Dimitri's had a girlfriend for like the last three semesters or something, and he was like, I bet she's a looker.
It's the hottest girl in school.
It's the hottest girl in school, mate. Like, so he's doing all right. All right.
But no, I really enjoyed the water park scene. That for me was good writing, because it built a lot of story just off of one bit. Like, obviously, they're told they've got to stay on each side of the park. Then they get together again and have another round. It comes down to a water slide race. And you knew
a tame, considering these two are like the fiercest of my opponents. Yeah, they want to rip their eyes at each other's eyes out every time they see each other. They settled it on a water race, like a water slide race.
The two champions, weren't it? And you knew the moment Kenny gave Eli the ring,
it was something dodgy.
You knew it was tampered with the moment.
What it also done is what we are also seeing future episodes is it starts to question Tori's morals.
That's what I was going with. Like, that's 100%.
Ages, but it's just another one of those to just lay down, another paving stone on the pathway to the morality. Like, redemption
for Tori.
Redemption for Tori. That's all
when they're all screaming cheaters at them. You could see it on her. A good bit of acting from Peyton.
I liked it.
Good. Yeah, and you could tell that she is not happy with that situation, you know what I mean? Because she knows it was she's starting to question the methods of Cobra Kai properly now, you know what I mean?
Yes, and we will get into more later on. Or has she already? I can't remember.
She's already confronted. She's already confronted Terry Silver about cheating.
Yes, no, I know that, but has she already faced up against the other new dojo, or is that in the next one?
No, that's next episode. Yeah, the next couple of episodes. That is, Devon.
Yes, we got on to that in a second.
Yeah, good bit of writing, I thought, for that. But that's what I mean. Like, I understand why they've got to get these contrivances into the script to get to these places, and that's why it doesn't bother me that much. You know what I mean? Because exactly what happened there, perfect display of her realizing, like I said, that some of the methods used to win for Cobra Kai are not. They don't align with her personal beliefs. Clearly, you know what I mean. She doesn't want to be part of that. So
and what it also does at the end of the episode is it cues up what is. Episode 5 is the start. It's the start of this season starting to really get going. Yeah, because it's the first real deal fight that we wanted to see, and I was happy with it. All right, you know what I'm talking about. I was happy with it. All right, but that sets up. It just what's the word I'm looking for? It reiterates the beef that Robbie and Miguel still have deep down. Although I feel like they don't want it, but they do want it because it's just there. Because it's like you can't ignore it, because Robbie hasn't apologized for breaking Miguel's back, and I don't know where Like Robbie doesn't really have a leg to stand on in this whole argument.
Well, no, Robbie moved in on his missus, didn't he? On Miguel's missus as well, so he's got no legs to stand.
I was just gonna say, what? Where are you going here? Oh, I mean, Robbie did try and take his missus as well. Yeah, that's Miguel is.
But where I was going with it, that is where the beat, because he obviously he didn't take his missus. Miguel took it back, so yeah. But obviously, and the dad obviously as well. But that is where we're seeing the because that obviously. Robbie doesn't stand up for Cobra Kai, but he doesn't want the fight. He doesn't want nothing to do with it. But it looks like he's helping Cobra Kai when it comes, like he's supporting Cobra Kai at the water park. And Miguel straight up on him. And it's like, again, it's that. I understand with teenagers, but it's a bit like, bruv, like he wasn't. You could clearly tell that he was just diffusing the situation here, mate. But you've got beef, I understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great episode.
Miguel wants to kick his ass. Like,
oh, yeah.
And you can understand. Like, he didn't take his dad. Like, it's just a situation that's happened. Like his dad taking Miguel under his wing is not Miguel's fault.
No,
like, that's his dad's fault. Like he wasn't around for Robbie. Then Robbie came on the scene, and then it just happened. So look, Miguel's done nothing wrong here. Just piecing it all together. Miguel's been hard done by, bro.
Yeah.
He's been hard done by. Raw. Right, now we're into episode 5. We get to see one of a very, very good character in the Cobra Kai franchise in Stingray. I didn't expect to see him back. He got harshly beaten by it's more so John Kreese. It's more so John Kreese is doing, wasn't it, before?
No. Terry Silver beats the fuck out of him. Puts him in a coma,
was it Terry Silver?
Yeah. That's the whole scam, isn't it? Terry, he wants to get back into Cobra Kai, and Terry's like, "You got to do a job for me," and that's how he frames Kreese and puts him in prison, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes it is. Yes it is. It is. Yes it is. Yes. He sets up John Kreese by because Stingray was in a bad way, weren't he? He was like tubes and everything, wasn't he?
Yeah, pure coma, mate. Yeah, pure. Because isn't that the start of this season? Him waking up from the coma and the detective turning up. No, scrap that. Edit that out, bruv. Edit that out. That comes later. That does. They could do flashbacks.
Say, where the hell was that?
Yeah. No, don't worry. That's what I mean.
Spoilers to me.
No, yeah. It's not a spoiler because it's not a spoiler, but yeah. So gets beat the fuck out of by Terry Silver to get back into Cobra Kai. Turns up at Cobra Kai. And Terry Silver gives him a hero's welcome, don't he? He makes everyone applaud him, gives him his own gi with Stingray written on it, gives him the fucking car.
And he gives him Johnny's old car.
Which is a bad man car. There's no two ways about that. That is I think it's a Corvette, but whatever it is, that's a bad man car, that is, bro.
It's a savage car, and it's got a Cobra Kai Cobra on the front as well. So, and it's like gunmetal black.
It's
like
awesome.
Matte black, which is cool as anything. So then we've got the Amanda's gone to see her sister, who was Daniel LaRusso's ex-girlfriend in Karate Kid 3, when Daniel LaRusso had that badass yellow car. We get to see, it was kind of a culmination. We spoke about it before. We said it needed to happen because Amanda had to get the full story of her sister of what Terry Silver was really about. So we got to see the dark side of Terry Silver. And then obviously there's a bit of a bar brawl, which Sam got involved in, which meant that she got to realize that karate wasn't the problem. It was about issues that she had to deal with herself, which were actually the problem and not karate. So that all needs to be done. Again, as you said, it's a filler episode, but it's making sure it's tying up the ends, which build up as we go along.
Yeah, and another good use of flashbacks there when she's talking about what Terry Silver did, the sister, and you got all the flashbacks of where you actually forget what an absolute piece of garbage Terry Silver was in that film. And so it's like, when you see it again, you're like, this geezer's he's meant to be a teenager, what you're doing to him, you're abusing him, mate. A couple of young kids, you know what I mean? Like hanging them off the side of a cliff and crap like that, mate. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. He's it's to think back, like when she was going through some of the things that he'd done, like Terry Silver. No, it was Mike Barnes. It was Mike Barnes, wasn't it? Mike Barnes
and Terry Silver
beat her up. like as well.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's not Terry Silver. That's Mark Barnes. Yeah, that's Mike Barnes.
Barnes.
And his
kick
cronies.
to her chest. Like what the hell? Like what the actual hell? Then we had nearly got pushed off a cliff. I mean, it's. Do you know? Like, yeah, is that how we roll? We're in for attempted murder now.
It is in the valley, mate.
You look back at Karate Kid, yeah, and you realise there was some serious shit that went down.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, bro.
Some serious shit. Some assault and battery, attempted murder. Like Chosen was going to kill Karate Kid at one point because it was the death. A fight to the death.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so there's a lot, man. They get harder and harder as they go along, man. You know what I mean?
It's a lot. Yeah. Obviously, the tables turn where Johnny and Daniel seems to go to Johnny to give him the last push to make him go and get Terry, to go and hype him up. And Johnny just turns around to him and says, "What the hell has happened to you, man?"
Yeah. Which, I don't want none of this. Yeah. I don't want none of this. Yeah.
Which then gives Daniel a sort of wake-up call to say, if Johnny is turning around to me and saying, "What the hell is going wrong with you? You're a mess," I am a serious mess. Serious mess. Because Johnny's obviously changed it around because he's having a kid.
Baby on the way. Yeah.
Baby on the way. So he's got to grow up a bit. So yeah, it's very interesting. But one thing that I didn't notice that you mentioned earlier on was Daniel's words gave Johnny the idea for what's to come, which was, what did you say?
Daniel Lewis is sitting like, well, they're in a beer, ain't they? And they have a nice bonding moment. And he tells you, like, if only we could have gone further than 3 points, all of this would have been sorted out long ago. And that gives Johnny the idea to let Miguel and Robbie fight it out. He's going to be a dog shit parent. There's no two ways about that. Like,
yeah, no, his kid is going to be hard as nails. That's what you know. Yeah. Like, you do know that because the kid is going to fall over and then have to pick himself up while his dad's calling him a pussy. For falling over in the first place.
But awesome fight
scene between Robbie and Miguel, and it's good to see both of them have a tear up again.
Yeah,
like got to see Robbie have a little bit of a tear up with Johnny while he was on his pilgrimage, but we haven't seen Miguel have a tear up, and he can fight. Like he can seriously fight. Robbie's wall run,
yeah, mate,
kick to the head
mate.
Oh, mate.
I mean, I presume wires were involved, but if they weren't, fair play to him, bruv. Like, that's a great,
fair play.
That fight
I would say, as a youngster who did martial arts when he was younger, I would be trying that. I wouldn't be getting ropes. I'd be like, no, I'm going to try this. Because I've always felt that it's something doable. Step, wall jump, kick, doable.
Well, yeah, someone did it in UFC once, didn't they? Like, that's one of the best knockouts ever seen, bro. I forget who it was, but they did it in UFC, run up the cage and absolutely flying kicks on. But that fight gets out of hand quick.
And it nearly turns into a reenactment of Miguel breaking his back. Yeah. But Miguel shows mercy.
Yeah, because I loved the parallels to that, like as they were showing the flashbacks to him and like
because she was well on it. She was like, like, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And do you know what I thought? It could spill over, and Johnny's going to have to catch him or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going to happen there, but it turned out well. And what I liked about it as well, although it was very, very cheesy, was them explaining, why did you do it? Why did you? Like, because that's a serious question. Why did you kick me off? Why did you carry on, bruv? Why did you stop? Because I didn't need to do it. I didn't need to. Like, it was done for me. Why did you carry on? Bruv, it was just tunnel vision. Like, I wasn't even thinking. I didn't even picture you by the end there. Like, just the whole hype around the thing. I just got lost in the moment. I'm so sorry. Like, that's a great moment. It's a great moment. Like, it showed a lot of understanding. Like, it was good to hear Robbie's side of it. Like, because we all knew what happened. Robbie ain't that kind of kid, but it was that situation where it was just in the moment, herd mentality. it just gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Mist, isn't it? Red Mist. I've seen people. Yeah, I've seen it before, mate, with people.
Mist, look.
This is what I'm saying about this show, man. When the writing's good like this, it's awesome. And this is what I was saying in our episodes 1 and 2 review. Like, there's a lot of themes of forgiveness and redemption and not letting mistakes define you, even when it comes to like Johnny and Daniel, but like all of them, you know what I mean? Like moving on and moving past things and like becoming a better person from it. So like, I've dug the writing out a few times, but now, like when it's done like this, it's really, really well done. I really think it's a great message for kids. Basically, I think. Like, I know this isn't a kids' show per se, but it's a teen show at heart. You know what I mean? So, I really appreciate that. I really do. The ability to show growth in someone. You know what I mean? That moved on, they moved past it. Yeah, definitely. I really like that.
It's very easy for these shows just to have a character who's just stubborn, stays the same way. They're not trying to show a message, but like there's people of an age that could be influenced, that they could sort of throw a little message to them about these kind of things. So yeah, no, I also rate that as well. And then look, as if we didn't get one good fight in this, we got to see someone getting absolutely pounded. Because that was a real. That really showed Daniel LaRusso whereabouts he was in his karate career, as opposed to where Terry Silver got to in the end in his karate career. Because Terry Silver handed out an absolute whooping. Whooping. WH whooping. Like,
yeah, man, yeah.
Puts him in a spliff.
100%. Oh, like Daniel and Chosen had already gone to Stingrays earlier in the episode and threatened him about coming forth and saying that it wasn't actually John Kreese that beat him to a bloody pulp and put him in a coma. It was Terry Silver. Really scares Stingray. Falls over, smashes up his PlayStation, and that's going to be bad as well. Oh no, my PlayStation! And I feel exactly the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would.
So he's gone back. Yeah, he's gone back. Danny LaRusso's gone back on his own to replace the PlayStation. Basically, he gets there, can't find him, and then Terry walks out of the shadows again. As we said, that villain smile, mate.
Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Daniel tries to surrender, don't he? He says it's over. I'm done with this. War's over. You can have the
and he's like, and in true villain style, it's I will tell you when it's over.
Yeah,
this is not over. Like, who do you think you are? Like, it was flip the switch, psycho. Like, no. I'll tell you when it's over. Who do you think you are? It's too late. You've messed with me now. You're gonna pay. Like, you're gonna pay.
He throws some naughty digs in as well. Verbal digs in when he's like, and I won't stop until I see Cobra Kai geese wrapped around both of your children.
Like, yeah. No, that was
it. He's gone for the kids, bro. Oh, mate. Yeah, and then Daniel decides he's going to fight Terry and gets her whopping, just like you said, bro. An absolute beating, bro. And absolutely, although he does have one good bit when the anger comes out and he's punching the wall like it's the Matrix, bro, taking chunks out of the pillar, and Silver's just dodging it, bro. Like, I was like, oh, and then ends with basically, literally Terry Silver's foot on his throat.
Yeah, no, he does.
I mean, so
it does end with Terry Silver placing the foot, the proverbial foot on the throat, which is like, it's the most like. It's
emasculating, bruv. It's
emasculating. Perfect word. It's the most emasculating move you can do in karate. Foot on throat. There we go. So that's your episode 3, 4, and 5 in a nutshell. Look, as we said, we may look like we complain sometimes, but it's not. It's just you can't drive, you can't take a journey at 120 miles an hour the whole way. You can't. Yeah. You got to slow down sometimes. You got to take pit stops. You got to fill up for petrol. You got to have drinks breaks. Yeah, and it's all about the journey. So look, we ain't moaning.
And this show's not flawless either. I won't have it. Like, there are things you can criticize about it in this show. Some of the writing has been lazy, like I said, but overall, this is still my favorite show out there at the moment. 100%. Like, of all of the TV shows out there at the moment, Cobra Kai is my favorite TV show. Period. You know, I know a lot of the Disney ones are going on at the moment. You know, like the start. Like, I liked Obi-Wan TV shows, but this, like I said a minute ago, when the writing is on top form, this show is second to none for its actual tension, action, even down to the teen drama. It ain't for us, basically, is it? You got to remember, like, but I can imagine, like, if you're younger, that's a good story for you.
Teen drama ain't for 35-year-olds. Like, it just ain't. It ain't. But then again, this program's for us. Otherwise, it wouldn't be doing all the throwbacks and the nostalgic pieces and the flashbacks. It wouldn't be doing that. So this is for us. But yeah, no, it's so far I've been happy. I've been very impressed. Yeah, I think it's elevated a lot of characters which you may not have thought, Chosen being one of them, but most of all for me, Terry Silver. It's elevated him massively to a character who, like, he was a big character. Like, he's an imposing character. Like, so he can't, just him as a presence. And I remember him from the first one. He's very charismatic. There's a lot about him. So he's always going to be there. But you didn't know where it was going to go. But then when you saw at the end of season 4, and he's double-crossed John Kreese, it was like, that was it. That was it. You knew that he was going to take it a step bigger than Kreese. So they've done well. They've done really good. They've done really well.
Without doubt. I mean, you usually can't give 2 MVPs, but Chosen and Silver MVPs of
easily
100% at the moment. MVPs, mate.
And I think overall, Johnny gets a Lifetime Achievement Award within that because he's been flawless from season 1 to this season now. Like, he's kept his lovable rogue title.
Yeah. To be fair, you're right. Yeah.
He's
they've barely changed his character, mate.
They haven't at all, which is
good,
really good. It's really good. Like, even though, like, he's meant to change, he's meant to. It's what I mean. He's like a simply complicated character. Yeah, that's how I put it. Because he's a very simple character, but there's a lot of depth to him. Like I said earlier with the Dimitri thing, like, you expect that situation for the geek to be feeling awkward and the jock to be overly confident because of just in life that's the way life's gone for them. However, it wasn't. The jock was acting like a jock, but in the most awkward way, because he was in an awkward situation, because he was slightly embarrassed that he didn't know how to do something, and the geek did. And the geek was confident because he was in his prime, because he knows what he's doing.
Talking about tech,
It was, like little things like that.
Great
I appreciate. I appreciate. So
I'm saying like when I say they haven't changed character, he has grown throughout the show 100%. Obviously, it was his show to start with. It was about him, Johnny Lawrence, to start with. Yeah. He's grown as a person. He understands what's wrong with him and everything. But he's what you're saying. He's never going to get rid of that like bully jock side of him. And I like that.
You don't want him to do that.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of shows that would now turn him into like soft. You know, the bit with him. The bit with him and LaRusso. That'd be him now. Like, he'd be knowledgeable and he'd be calm. No, he's a hothead. He's a jock. And we love him for it. We look because he's got a heart of gold. Definitely, you know. What I mean, he's been hard done by.
It is, and it is. Like, even though he's sometimes naive, sometimes not very understanding of other people's situations, all of the things that he's done along the way were not with bad mind or meant to be done with any malice. It was all just the way he's been brought up. It was all just the way that wouldn't get an arm around the shoulder, he'd get a punch on the arm. Like, that was their way, and that's what he thought he was doing with LaRusso, having a laugh, having a joke, even though I agree with LaRusso and it was harsh. In his way, that was just pissing around. But LaRusso was a new boy in town and saw it as being picked on. So, look, we love the show. That's up to episode 5 of season 5. And we're going to be coming in strong of episode 3, 6, 7, and 8 next time, leaving the final penultimate episodes to the end. Just like a proper finale.
Yeah, you got to leave the last two to the end. You know what I mean? They're going to have their own little show. So 100%. Yeah, love it. I couldn't recommend this enough to everyone, and I mean that every single even if you haven't seen. Do you know what I like about the show as well? Before we go, is even if you haven't seen Karate Kid, this is what you're saying about the flashbacks. Like even if you haven't seen the three Karate Kids, you could easily get into this show immediately
and then watch Karate Kids. Then watch Karate Kids. Yeah, you could
100%, bro.
You could.
Is. That's the only problem with this show is that I'm walking around like a child doing karate moves in my front room.
I did it during Miguel's fight, Terry Silver's fight. I'm getting up and I'm like, God! I'm all over the place, bro. I can't help it. I'm like a child.
That's what I'm saying, like a child, bro.
But yeah, it is what it is. You make sure you make sure you're here for the next episode, the Cobra Kai episode review. Yeah.
Come follow us on all of the socials as well. You know
this. Go first on all the socials. And yeah, peace out. Whoosh! Cobra Kai. Whoosh! No mercy!
I'm just ear drums, bruv, to this tune, mate.